to your pickup at 2170.
Hi guys, welcome to Ride VIP, the Ride channel. My name is Serge, and in today's video I want to talk to you guys a little bit about what I'm planning to do for the rest of month of March. I can't believe we're already here in March, guys. Remember when I was telling you guys how we should be making decisions like in advance, like what you want to do? You want to go ahead and start planning early. And I was telling you guys this beginning of January. I was telling you guys some in February. I was working super hard to try to basically make the money that I need, and not just like wasting my time, you know. Well, now winter's over, you know. That was like winter, and that was decisions based on winter. And I was thinking like, okay, when March comes, okay, that's not as cold, but I know it's a little bit going to be rainy, and because it's not as cold, I could work on cars and go ahead and get some cars ready. But ultimately, to get the cars ready, I would need to also paint them, and I don't have a paint booth just yet, so I would need to get that built. So I decided to kind of wait on fixing cars at this point and kind of getting them ready, because it is March. I know for a fact that I will not be able to get done what I need to get done to the cars. Instead, I'm planning to do something else in March, not to waste time. And also, if you guys watched the last video, I am saving for my own warehouse/shop. And that's something I need to be talking to you guys about in other videos. Like I've talked to you guys about my plans already many times, and then I keep updating them as we're going along, because you know, with time you find out new things. You're thinking about like new opportunities, and you start figuring out like, okay, what could be next for me when it comes to that. So I did talk to you guys about cars, and why I feel that it doesn't make a lot of sense right now for me to start fixing up cars and stuff. There's something else I'm planning to do in March, but before I tell you what I'm going to be doing, like that's going to be something like for another video. I do want to tell you what I think it's actually best to do. I actually personally think the best thing that I could actually be doing financial, that could make me even more success, especially in time, it's actually build my own warehouse and, you know, slash shop, and install all my commercial grade shelving, because I have 18 commercial grade shelves. These things are like 12 foot tall, and maybe they're even like taller than that, but 4 foot wide, 8 foot long, you know, shelves that are like, they're made for like pallets and stuff. So I think starting a used car parts business on eBay and everywhere else would be the most logical solution. In South Carolina, you need to have you know, like a car dealer license or like a dismantler license or whatever. So I do have a dealer certificate, so I could go ahead and actually just get that as I'm becoming one. But my business is not going to be like a sort of like a junkyard. Like it's going to be more like just, you know, buying cars, dismantling them, and putting them in the warehouse, and basically selling the car parts, you know, in my warehouse. And then this will allow me to work on car projects and things like that, which will then help me, you know, make the money that I need to be making, and allow me to spend some time with family and stuff like that. So I've been putting a lot of thought into it, and I was thinking like, is it worth for me just to go ahead and, you know, buy a car, fix it up, and sell it? Time versus money, what makes the most amount of sense? And I was making an example in the last video, and I don't know if I got a chance to really finish it, but imagine you buy a car for $2,000, right? And then you put another $1,000 into it, let's just say, right? Let's just say like at best $1,000. Let's say you're really good at buying cars and it just needs $1,000 worth of work. Well, the car only is worth $5,000, and you sold it for $5,000, so that means you made profit of $2,000 just to make things easy, right? But it has taken you a week to basically make that money. So is it good or bad compared to when it comes to doing like Uber and Lyft? Because Uber and Lyft, ultimately when you're driving, you're gonna make something similar. Now there's fuel expenses involved, but also don't forget, any business that you're doing stuff, there's other expenses involved. Like there's expenses that you did not even think about, right? If you're just getting started, maybe you needed some extra tools to get the job done. Maybe you needed like a spray gun, to paint the car. Maybe you had to buy paint. Maybe you had to buy even more tools. Maybe you have to get a welder. There's constantly expenses involved. And then if you're doing this out of a shop that you're renting, there's that expense going on. And then you have to pay shop insurance, and then you have to pay dealer insurance. You have to pay for dealer tax. All of this expenses is the cost of doing business, and ultimately when you calculate everything, that expense is probably going to be somewhere similar to us spending fuel and maintenance on our cars while doing Uber. It's going to be very similar. That is if you're basically just working for yourself. Now if you hire people to work for you, that further complicates things, but with great risk comes great reward. But then again, you'll need a bigger space. You got to pay for that space. How are you paying for that space? Are you paying it out of pocket? Do you own it? If you're just starting out, there's a very good chance you don't own it. Then you have to pay all of those additional expenses, heating bills, electrical bills, water and software, insurances, it just on and on and on, it just never stops. And I know that. So what's easier to do? Is it easier just to simply drive and make money that way? Or should you do something a little bit more difficult, harder, and you actually buy cars and you fix them and you try to flip it and make money that way? Now, I'll tell you which one I would choose. If it's compared exactly the way I just described it, I would choose probably driving rideshare every time, because first of all, this is easy. I like driving. Now, if somebody does not like driving, that's different. I actually enjoy driving. I like meeting people. I like talking to people. I don't talk to everybody that I meet, but because, sometimes you vibe with the person, sometimes you're not. And with that being said, some people are really cool, and you can actually build some new connections and network with these people, because we meet a lot of interesting people. You can talk to them and find out what they do, and maybe you learn something that you would have not learned otherwise, except by talking to somebody in your vehicle. But with all that being said, I always treated my car business as not a business, as more like a hobby. And you know how hobbies go, they really don't make you money. So in the last, I'd say 5 years, I only started buying up cars, I'd say the last 3, maybe 3.5 years. The other years I was fixing up my home from 2015, I'd say all the way till 2018 and a half. It has taken like 3.5 years for me to fix up my home, because I didn't have all the money to fix it, first of all. So that's what it took. But with all that being said, once I fixed it, I'm like, okay, now I got to focus on myself, what I need to do. I started buying up cars, because look, buying cars, I already know I could always get my money back. Okay, I could always break even, that I know. So the money was not wasted. At least I could see that all the progress I did over the last 3.5 years, it shows in cars. I just been buying up cars. This is why I buy them. Especially when I was not like ready to do nothing else. But every time I do the calculations, I get right about the same answer. It makes exactly the same amount of money that Uber makes. So I'm kind of thinking, like, if I disassemble that car, now it could make 3 times more. 3 times more, 4 times more, five times more. Plus, it would not require additional expenses. Like, you would not need to, first of all, learn how to fix that car. Taking apart cars is not the same as building it back up. Putting them on shelves is a lot easier than having to install all the brand new parts and knowing what to install, and having to guess what needs to be replaced, or having to spend all this extra money, buying parts so you could install it on the car. Then it still takes you time to sell that car. The only big advantage to that is once you sell the car, you get one lump sum. But that's kind of like winning a lottery. Would you rather have a large lump sum, which a lot of people, that's what they choose, or get money paid to you over time? And I think getting money paid over time, that's a lot better, because that could keep you from getting broke. Because everybody that won a lottery, they went broke. I think business is no different. Once you got a lump sum, well, you figure out there's another expense you gotta spend something on, and then most of the money's gone, and now you're reinvesting pennies into the next car, and before you know it, you got a next car, and a little bit more time passes, and you just can't never get ahead. I already seen that happen with so many people, guys, because it seems like that's a good business, unless you do everything properly, you got the right team behind you, you got the proper finances behind you, your business will not make money for a very long time. Like, look at Uber, look at Lyft, look at Amazon, look at a lot of other businesses out there. They were not making money to begin with. The money comes later. Tesla was losing money, and I'm no Elon Musk, so I already know that with every single business that you do comes great risk. It does not mean that you should not do it, but you need to make calculated decisions when it comes to taking risk. Taking calculated risk is what I meant to say. When it comes time to making decisions, you just don't want to do it right away. You want to make sure that you do this without trying to borrow money, because that is the safest way to go. Doing it with a very little expenses as possible, unless you really know what you're doing and you've done it before and you know how it's done. Then it's differently. You could maybe borrow some money and get a shop, and you get the right people, because everybody's different. But I'm not talking to necessarily to those type of people, because those people are probably not watching my video. But rideshare people are watching my videos. They're probably thinking what's better out there? Can I get a better job? Can I do this? Can I do that? But anyways, guys, I think starting a used car parts business makes the most amount of sense. It requires the least amount of time, and that will create income over time, which will get the bills paid, and that would be exactly what we need. We need income always coming in. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourself, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.